How would you like to be wealthy right now? Not someday when you've saved enough money, not after all your loans are paid off, but today. I know it sounds impossible when you're staring at the bills and juggling deadlines, but there's another way to think about wealth, one that goes far beyond dollars and bank balances. Because here's the surprising truth. Wealth is not a number. Wealth is a feeling of abundance that comes from you shifting your attitude and perspective. And chances are you're probably already much wealthier than you think. So today I'll show you how to see the abundance you already have and why true wealth is available to you now when you change your focus. But first, if money were the answer, why don't you feel wealthy? Chances are your bank account looks better than most. Why is it that you have the very thing you were chasing, but it hasn't brought you the security or happiness you thought it would? Maybe you just need more. So you raise the bar. More money, more success, more goals, hoping that that next milestone will be the one at which everything falls into place. But you find that you're just on a hamster wheel, running fast and hard, but getting nowhere. You see, a nice bank balance might give you some satisfaction or a temporary feeling of security. Perhaps spending it on food, travel, or luxuries will give you comfort and pleasure, but more than likely it will not provide the lasting security or happiness that you're craving. And we see that in our daily lives. Even after we've crossed that income threshold and have many of the luxuries we wanted, we feel anxious, trapped, and unfulfilled. Even research has shown that money has diminishing returns on happiness. A well-known study by Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton found that emotional well-being rises with income up to about $75,000 a year. After that, more money doesn't significantly increase daily happiness. So why are you after wealth anyway? What does monetary wealth signify, and what do we think it will achieve? Money provides ease, comfort, and access. But why do you want those? Most likely, you want to be happy, and you believe that wealth and all the things that come with wealth will make you happy. So if you really only want to be happy, instead of asking how to get wealthy, maybe you should be asking how to get happy. As Tony Robbins says, the goal is not to have the most money, but to have the most joy with the least amount of money needed. So how can you focus on creating more joy and happiness instead of money? Well, there are 5 key steps that I followed that completely changed my mindset towards wealth and honestly made me 10 times happier. First, it's practicing gratitude. Now, I personally did not expect this to make much of an impact. I think I'm a pretty grateful person, and the idea of writing about it seemed a bit silly. However, I took it on as a challenge for a month, and I was surprised. It did make a difference. It made me feel better. I began noticing the good things in my life. I also had my kids do it with me, which was kind of fun. And I realized the reason this works is because when we express gratitude, we are accepting that we have received something that we wanted or needed. And by doing this repeatedly, we realize how much we already have. It's a different frame of mind. You shift from lacking and wanting to resting and knowing how much you have. Some days it'll be tough. Some days you won't feel grateful or positive about anything, and that's okay. Keep it light. Just write about the weather or your favorite food. It should be a pleasant activity, not another task on your to-do list. So just take a couple of moments to reflect and feel happy. Studies have even shown that writing down 3 things that you're grateful for every day for just 3 weeks can improve mood, lower stress hormones, and increase optimism. So try it out. Next, while you're feeling grateful, remember to include your family. It's easy to take relationships for granted. I know I did. But now, as my parents are aging, I've been more conscientious. I know that each moment is precious. So regardless of my schedule, I make sure to spend quality time with them. In fact, this month, we're taking a family vacation. So who are the important people in your life? Maybe family, maybe a friend. Call them. Grab coffee or lunch. Don't let weeks become months. Sometimes just a text or a call is enough to connect. It's not the quantity, but the quality of the connection. And you'll get more than just a subjective sense of feeling good. The Harvard study on adult development, one of the longest studies on happiness, found that good relationships are the strongest predictor of health and longevity. So make it a priority. Along with the subject of gratitude and love, we want to have some spiritual practice. Now, you may not agree with this, but I think that connecting with something higher than ourselves keeps things in perspective. Nothing is too serious when we contemplate the magnitude of the universe. If you're a religious person, praying or attending a place of worship might provide that. But try to make it more than an obligation or a habit. Actively reflect and meditate. I've been guilty of overlooking this myself. I studied spiritual texts, but never made it a part of my daily routine. However, this past year, I've committed to doing that, even if for just a few minutes a day. Before I get out of bed or check my phone, I meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. It has really improved my life. I don't feel as stressed. I don't obsess about my to-do list every morning. I am more present with my tasks when I'm working. And don't just take my word for it. Check out this study that showed meditation not only improves physical health, but also brain function. So start Start with short periods and set a timer so you don't get restless and check the time. Try to focus on your breathing or use a meditation app like Insight Timer. Now that we've laid the foundation with the inner work, we need to also do some outer work. That means health and fitness. My personal fitness journey has been a rocky one, but this past 6 months, I've committed to working out regularly and tracking my nutrition, and it's been a game changer. I have more energy and physical stamina than I ever did before. Too often I hear people attributing aches and pains to aging, but it's usually due to lack of physical fitness. Our bodies are like machines. If you don't use those muscles, they atrophy and die. If you don't move your joints, they get stiff. It's just mechanics. I know it's easy to put off because we always have other things to do, but your health is the foundation of your life. Without your health, you can't work or enjoy life, so commit to making it a priority. It doesn't have to be a huge undertaking. Just start with adding a walk to your day, and then gradually add more rigorous exercise. When you get stronger and more flexible, you feel younger, more invigorated, and empowered. You'll be surprised at how much your outlook on life improves. And speaking of outlook on life, what is the end game? What will you count as a successful life? Will you be counting how many dollars you've accumulated, or will you be reflecting on the love and relationships in your life? I think it'll be the latter. So work backwards from the result you want. Don't collect dollars, collect friendships and experiences and the enjoyment of your physical health. If you have these, you have the ultimate prize, the happiness that you were seeking to begin with. So instead of asking how much money do I need, ask what makes me happy. Focus on the joy, invest in the activities and people that increase that. When you stop measuring wealth only by dollars, you realize that you already have access to peace, joy, and fulfillment right now. So here's your challenge this week. Take a few minutes every day for gratitude, meditation, and exercise. Track how you feel by the end of the week. You may find that you're living a far richer life than you ever imagined. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the Dr. Investor for more conversations about building a wealthier and happier life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.